Well, just as we have predicted was going to happen, it's happening. We told you that these protests that have been going on, it's just smoke and mirrors because they are just pushing the needle just enough to push legislation that would make anti-Semitism something more of a dog whistle in this country, and here we are. This just showed up on my feed. This is an article. It says bipartisan bill would create anti-Semitism monitors at colleges. Yeah, they're really going in on this. And so, anyway, let's get into the article here. It says a pro Israel House Democrat and Republican plan to introduce legislation creating federally sanctioned anti Semitism monitors for select college campuses. Now, this is very interesting because, again, these are federally sanctioned. So, in other words, these aren't just your run of the mill people, they're federally sanctioned, which I would have to guess that these are probably trained by the IDF or by Israel as well. So now you have an outside entity that is going to be federally backed to monitor students on American college campuses. Let that sink in for a moment. And even though this article doesn't say that they're going to be IDF trained, rest assured that the IDF or Israel will have their hands all in this. That's just how they work. Okay, let's continue. It says on why it matters. It's the first bill introduced in Congress as a direct response to the pro-Palestinian protests that have rocked Columbia University and other colleges in recent days. Representatives Ritchie Torres. This is Ritchie Torres right here. And isn't it interesting that we have a black, well, I'm just going to say quote unquote black man that is leading the charge on this. This is another thing, a tactic that they always do. And he's not just black, he's also a gay man. And so they mix those two together. And, you know, again, this is their Trojan horse, if you will, that they use to push legislation. You know, this is what they do. And he also is, if according to his Wikipedia page, he's actually a congressman over what's considered one of the most poorest districts in America. And so it's kind of like the Obama kind of thing where we're going to throw Obama into Chicago. Hey, we're going to get you connected on the local level and get you some street cred and all of that, you know. So anyway, but let's continue. Or introducing a bill to college, introducing the College Oversight and Legal Updates Mandating Bias Investigations and Accountability Act. Wow, that's oh gosh. They actually have an acronym for Columbia, or the Colombia Act. Let's look at this again. It says it says College Oversight and Legal Updates Mandating Bias Investigations and Accountability Act, or the Colombia Act. This is hilarious. This is just classic government, man. Gosh. Anyway, it says the bill would allow the Department of Education to send a quote unquote third-party anti-Semitism monitor. Remember I said it's going to be someone that's Israeli trained to any college that receives federal funding, and to revoke that funding for colleges that don't comply. And ladies and gentlemen, that will also include black college campuses. You know they're going to be, that's if they're receiving federal funding. If we catch you whispering, saying anything at all derogatory against Israel, your funding will disappear. The monitor, paid for by the school, would be charged with releasing a public quarterly report evaluating the progress that a college or university has made towards combating anti-Semitism. So this is just, I mean, this is all Nazi Germany right here, man. This is wow. The bill was first reported by Jewish Insider. Of course it was. Let's see. And they said what they're saying. My office and I have spoken with countless Jewish students from campuses around America who feel deeply unsafe purely as a result of their religious and ethnic identity, Torres said in a statement. Jewish students have told my office that they feel completely abandoned by their university administrators, and they view Congress as the only avenue for accountability and safety. Now, if you recall, on our community page, I actually put a list of all the university presidents of these Ivy League schools. Out of the 8, I think it was like 6 of them were Jewish presidents. So let me ask you something. How is it that these individuals, these Jewish students, feel abandoned when you are the ones that are controlling the campuses in the first place? I told you they play both sides of it. They play the Palestinian side, they're playing the Israel side. You know, they're the victim and also the controllers. It's the same. It's all the same, y'all. They said zoom out. Let's see. The bill's introduction comes as college campuses have become ground zero for a national fight over anti-Semitism in the Israel-Hamas war. At least 10 House members, including Speaker Mike Johnson, have gone to Colombia this week to denounce campus anti-Semitism and to criticize the college administration. Several high-profile House progressives have also gone to colleges in recent days to show their solidarity with the demonstrators. Now, I told you again, you know, this is how they do. You know, there's no way in the world, if you took an honest seat back and observed this thing, I said, there's no way in the world this is not coordinated. And I said, secondly, on our most recent podcast, I talked about how not only is it not coordinated, it's definitely coordinated, I should say, but also what's happening is that they are going to be pushing for, you know, a particular piece of legislation. And this is where we are right now. It's a piece of legislation. Now, it may not be in this final form, but they're going to fast track this. Make no mistake about it. We are not going to come out of this year of 2024 without a bill or some sort of bill that's going to start mandating this. Now, this should be very, very concerning to anybody that has students that are in colleges or universities. Now, you know, because now some people may be listening to me and say, hey, listen, hey, just don't say anything about Israel. You're cool. You're good to go. You know, you're not there to stir anything up. But no, that's what they're literally doing, is taking this so-called thing called freedom of speech and literally pissing on it and setting it on fire in the process. And so, you know, as a black individual, as an African American, whatever you want to call me, this is really something. And, you know, this is the argument I continue to try to make to our people. I'm 100% for the argument for reparations. I totally get it. Please don't inundate my comment section trying to make the argument for it, because we agree. We agree that there should be some type of reparations. But what I am saying, and being very blunt and honest with you, your tactics do not work. Begging, screaming, hollering, whatever it is that you do online, it's not moving any needles. This system, this matrix that we're in right now, has already picked their eternal victims, and it's not you. They've used you, but they're not going to use you anymore. Okay, they're not doing that. Their eternal victims are these people who refer to themselves as the chosen ones. Okay, and so this is who they're focused on, and they're going to make sure that their chosen ones get all the military backing that they ever asked for. They're going to make sure that any money that they ask for, they get it. And they're going to make sure that they have everything that they ever want. The United States is their eternal Santa Claus. And as for you, well, you continue to pout and scream and holler about the fact that, you know, the water in Flint, Michigan is still dirty, because we ain't getting to that. And that's just how this works. And again, so what is the solution for black people? What position should we take in this? Well, it's quite simple. It's something that I've been saying and I will continue to say. Number one, we have to make up in our minds the fact that we do not need this government to do anything else for us, period. We got to stop begging this government for anything. And we have to realize that as a people, we do have the resources, we do have the power to do pretty much what we want in terms of becoming a self-sustaining group of people. We have that. The problem, the largest problem that we are facing right now is not the government. It is not Israel. It is not Jewish people. It is none of those. The biggest problem that we're facing right now is this big elephant in the room, and it's called black self-hatred. That's what it is. And until we grow a pair, until we are willing to be brave enough to face it, then you're going to continue to see the destruction, the self-destruction of what we have been calling black culture and the black community. Because as of, like I've said in other videos, there is no black community. There is no community. There isn't. We can say that all we want, but there is no community, because you need unity in order to have a community. And there is no real unity. And we just have to be honest with that. But it doesn't mean that we can't fix it. OK, but in the meantime, the bigger issue as far as this video is concerned, I just wanted to bring this to your attention so that you can see that, you know, this is what's happening, and it is happening. And it's something that we've been saying is going to happen. And we've been telling you to keep your eyes on it, because this is going to be their next play. And you have to you're going to have two choices. Either you can sit back and get mad, get frustrated, or you can start realizing, okay, this is where we're going. This is where this country's going. Okay, what do I need to do? Okay, because I can't be, I got to find ways to disconnect myself from this system. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you have states like Texas, you have states like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina. There's a whole list of different states all across the United States right now that have laws already in place that if you have a contract, if you have a business and that business has a contract with those states, and they find out that you are saying some very derogatory things against Israel, they will shut you down. That's where it is. And in the state of Texas, I just mentioned this earlier, in the state of Texas, people who are, you know, when there's a natural disaster and then the government comes in to help their people out, the first thing one of the things they are checking is to see that if you have anything on your record where you have said anything derogatory against the state of Israel. Family, I'm telling you right now, this is why we are very adamant in waking our people up and stop pretending to be these people. You are not them. I repeat, you are not these people. And you should not want to have anything at all to do with them, their culture, their language, their books, none of that. And as long as we continue to play as if we're them, we will continue to be the kid in that perpetual position in high school with the kick me sign. It's time to wake up, because these people are moving, and they're continuing to make moves like this, where now they are actually going to be placing people in these different colleges and universities, monitoring, making sure that you don't get caught saying anything derogatory against them. And at the same time, they are controlling the schools. As I just mentioned, a majority of the presidents of these schools, talking about these Ivy League schools, are Jewish. That's the thing they like to leave out, but it's true anyhow. You could check the record. You can look it up yourself. So that's all I have for you. Thanks for tuning in. Stay alert, stay woke, whatever it is you want to call it, but don't get caught being willfully ignorant, especially during this time that we're in. All right. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.